Hey, welcome back for this installment of trying to get some signaling done on the layout. So yesterday I received some parts, and we got the DB20s in. We'll talk about those. Later on I'm going to incorporate the Nano, which we do have the code all written for that. The sketch is written for it. So we'll look at the Arduino Nano. Found an interesting little device for mounting the Nano, so we'll discuss that. And I ordered some tricolor LEDs, surface mount type from DigiKey, and we're going to attempt to wire those up. So we'll see how easy, hard, what do we have to do to get those to work. So let's take a look at the DB20 and get the test track wired up, and we'll see how that operates. Okay, the DB20, nice little unit. It's about 1 3/4 inches long, about 3/4 of an inch wide, and gives you some terminals here for different aspects of this. Power on 1 and 4. You can use that to LED or driver relay, which we will test that and make sure that works. And I believe off of 1 and 2 we can use that to in a logic circuit. Now that I've said that, the one complaint I have is that there's no way to mount this except a piece of double-sided tape and stick this to the bottom of your layout, and maybe it coming loose later on. Yeah, I guess you could use silicone, stick it up on there. What I did was I went ahead and I made a little holder for it. 3D printer. Screw hold it up in place, and then your DB20 will just go ahead and slide in there and be held in place that way. So I'll post this up on Thingiverse once I know that it works, and provide a link for that in the description down below. Here is our board with the insulator in it. And what I have done was I've just jumpered over, so I just used some alligator clips to come from my programming track just to supply power to this end. Down on this end I tied a wire in and brought that back and ran one loop through the DB20 just to see if I can get detection. And here, this is for the logic side. What we want to do is it's the logic is basically high right now, or open. We want to see if we can pull this down close to ground. I've hooked my voltmeter in here, and as you can see we don't have anything. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this train back by hand and put it onto it, and this is on the power setting of 1. So I will come back over here. We'll watch it as I move this. There it starts drawing current, and looks like it's about 160 ohms we have there. So that's one good test. I have got a single loop through here. What I want to do is I want to put a second loop through there just to see if that changes. Okay, I've taken the DB20 and I've actually added an extra loop through here. And we'll go over and check this one out. I'll move the train onto the track. And it looks like we're down to about 115, so it has lowered the resistance a little bit. Light system here, the green is on, the one in the center is yellow, although it'll come up a dull pinkish red, and then we have the red on the far end, on the far left hand side. So we'll take the locomotive and we will back him up Oh, and there it is in the detection zone. So that's where the block detector is watching. And I actually can take it to 0 throttle, and there's still enough current drain on the decoder to keep that red light lit. And we'll go forward now, take it out of the block detection area. Our yellow light comes on, and after a set period of time, the block goes to a green light. So, we know it works with just using the DB20 straight over to the Arduino. So now let's take a look at using it with a relay and some of the other applications that it has. I want to interrupt this program for a very important announcement. Let's just take a look at a diagram of what's going on. We're using I'm using an Arduino, but if you have another device that the signal needs to be pulled low to trigger what's going on, and here's going to be our trigger over here. So we have come into pin 2, and this is normally an open between these two as long as there is no current being drawn across the coil here. Once there is, locomotive enters that, this pin 2 is taken over to pin 1, which goes back to ground, and that provides the signaling for the Arduino. So that's the way this one works. Let's take a look at the DB20 driving the a single LED. You can use this on your layout to maybe if you have a helix going, you can tell if there's a train moving through that helix, or an indication on your instrument panel. So we have the DB20, and we can tell when the train enters that block, the LED will come on here, and we have our external LED over here. So as that train moves in, if I can get the train steady moving, we can see that the train has entered the block, and that has turned the LED on. So to explain this a little bit better, let me draw this out on a piece of paper and show you what's happening here. Let's take a look at the DB20, and we're going to use that to drive a single LED or maybe a few LEDs. We're going to have 12 volts, or 5 volts will do. You need some power to drive that LED, and your positive is going to come in on number 4. You're going to use pin 1 as a ground or back to your power supply. The anode for your LED is going to be on the positive side. Take the cathode and bring it back. Now this resistor, current limiting resistor, can be on either side, and we're going to bring that back into pin 3. When this is energized, this is going to take pin 3 and supply it to pin 1 to provide the circuit for us to turn that on. Now let's take a look at how we can shift it between, if you want to use just a red and a green LED, a fairly inexpensive way to do it. So here once again we have our DB20. There's no train in that block, and all we're going to do, instead of controlling an LED, we're going to control a relay. So right now there's nothing in the block, and we have a green LED, and as that train moves into the once again, I'm pushing it by hand, so the locomotive is in the block, and the relay has shifted, and we're using the red light. This relay, I have a double pole single throw. You can use a single pole single throw. double pole, single throw. Okay, the last one here is the DB20 driving our relay, and this will make a very simple circuit if you want to run just a red and a green LED for your signaling system. Going to use a power supply, whatever that voltage is for your relay. Most of the time that's 12 volts. Positive side hooked to 4, negative side hooked to 1. Our relay is a single pole double throw, and that is going to control our red and our green. So as we energize this, the relay will shift for us and operate your LED. And remember, you need a resistor in here for current limiting. You could actually put that resistor in this area here, going to the relay, or in here. You have to use 2 of them here, 1 on each leg, or you could use them out here. So that will drive the circuit. I hope I've explained the NCE BD20, how to hook it up, and its different aspects of what it can be used for. I understand I'm supposed to get some packages today, so my signaling should arrive from Showcase Miniatures. So we'll work on that in the next video. Also work a little bit more with the Nano, and I'll show you the script that I've written on that. We'll get that all done up for you. Another block detection video that I really liked was Jimmy's DIY and Digital Railroad. I'll put a link up here for that video. And he uses infrared sensors, so it's a very interesting way of doing the block detection. So until next time, have a great day. We'll hopefully we'll see you back here. Thank you for watching.